This is ContinueCast.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of ContinueCast, the twice-monthly show where we play an old-school game for SNES, Sega, something like that, and give our feelings about whether we'd continue or game over. The first episode is our initial impressions, and the second episode is our final verdict. I'm Paul.
I'm Nick.
I'm Josh.
And we have a very special guest with us for our third month, and his name is...
It's your main man, your Toucan Sam, your can of spam, Luke Brown.
It's Luke Brown again.
I'm so happy that you were able to make the flight over here today again.
Well, you know,
I like you weren't
from 2 towns away.
I thought you were gonna I was very disappointed when you didn't rhyme your name. I was like, oh, I thought his name was gonna rhyme with Toucan Sam.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna name Brown with Sam somehow.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's gonna be cool.
Yeah, that would not have made any sense. I stole that bit from Saturday Night Live. That's
stole
all
that?
I remembered. That's what
You could
they
say.
in that
You
one
stole
episode.
that?
You stole that?
You
say,
stole
yeah.
something and brought it onto our show and made us
Yes.
accomplices to your stealing?
Yes.
You could have said
All right.
the man about town, Luke Brown,
Yeah.
with the sound
That makes you poop brown.
makes you
Brown note.
when your poop is 40 pounds
I hope that you weren't accosted at Lansdale Border Patrol
to get in
to
here.
get over here.
Pennsylvania Border Patrol.
Yes, the Chalfont border guard was like, "Hola, ese," and I was like, "Whoa,
Where did I
come from?"
All
The
right.
county to county inspection.
Before we get down to brass tacks, as we like to say around
That's
here.
the thing that we say.
Let's
No,
hear
it
from our
isn't.
sponsors.
Oh shit! Our sponsor today on this great podcast is Monster Energy Drink,
Oh, yeah.
specifically Rehab.
Pour that.
Oh
Pour that
my
in front of the
God.
mic. Make it sound like pee-pee.
It's like audio sex.
Oh, you're peeing now.
I hope that someone is driving to work
And has
and they
to
have
piss.
to pee and they hear that and they're like, oh,
They hear that subliminal thing. They're like, I just pulled out my wiener and I started peeing everywhere.
Spray it on their windshield.
my car is filled with pee now.
It went out the window, hit a motorcycle.
Is that a real thing that happens to you? Ever?
What happened to
Like
pee?
you have to pee.
Someone
and
said
then...
you take your wiener out, and you're just like, oh, I can't. I take it out.
No, I meant like you gotta pee, and then like somebody turns on a faucet, and you're like, "Oh, I can't hold it in a long." Like that
and
has
then I
never
whip my
happened.
dick out and then I'm arrested for sexual
It
assault.
has never happened in
No,
the
do you
history
remember,
of anything ever.
No,
it
but
is
do you ever
not.
I've
have
almost peed my pants on the way home before.
Yeah.
I might do it tonight, dude.
That's just because you have an incontinent bladder. That has
No, but
nothing
that's
to
like,
do-
dude, if you're out drinking
Yes.
and you're driving now. I couldn't even
driving
say. I
home
couldn't even
at
say.
like 90 miles per hour.
That's not good. No, but do you ever
Next
have a
month's
pee dream,
sponsor,
though?
Mad.
Well, that's against drunk drivers. Do you ever have a pee dream? Do you ever in your dream you're like, oh, I need to pee real bad. I should probably start peeing. And then you're like, whoa, wait a second, I'm gonna start peeing here. Hold on.
I was,
in
dude,
your dream,
in your
definitely,
dream, yeah.
I was sleeping over at Zane's house, one of our friends, and I was sleeping in her childhood bed, not with her, but I was sleeping. I was sleeping, because I was drunk, and I had a pee dream. I was like, man, I have to pee so bad, and in my dream, I just took a super piss in my dream.
Oh, no.
And
Dude,
I
you pee?
almost pissed in the bed.
Dude,
I
that-
woke up and I was like, almost pissed. Gotta go down and pee now.
Dude, I'm almost 30 years old. Scariest thing ever.
Yeah.
Dude,
Sleeping over somebody's house, you're like, I'm gonna pee this bed right now.
I
I haven't done that in 30 years.
I don't
I'm
know how to
gonna do it.
explain myself.
the look on Luke Brown's face throughout this.
I mean,
Luke Brown, a man who has peed in many beds.
No, many
He only
pants.
pooped on them. Only pooped on the bed.
I'm giving you weird looks, but as you just said, yes, those who poop in glass pants cannot throw the first turd.
Should not shit the first shit.
That old saying.
Well,
Yeah, I believe
this was
that's biblical.
The most ridiculous opening.
Well, that's something people who are listening, you can look forward to our Poopcast coming up. We talk
Or
about
bi-monthly poopcast.
bi-monthly poop. Yeah. On the odd weeks, it should be the Poopcast.
Poop and
Dude, that was
podcast.
brilliant.
Continue cast one week, Poopcast next week, alternate back and forth.
Which do you think we'll run out of material for first?
The video game one.
Video game
Without a
one.
doubt.
They've only made so many video games, so I'm still taking shits every day.
Yeah, that's true. Because like
They're all different.
They're all different.
I only played one game for this podcast, but I pooped like 4 times today.
Each shit is like a snowflake. It's very unique.
Oh my god.
Video games.
Video games.
Why are you still listening?
Go outside. Go read a book.
Get your iPod out and put headphones in.
But first, send us money.
Yeah.
Yep.
Send money.
All right, let's get down to poop tax. No, wait, that's on poop. That's on the poop show.
on
I'm
the
mixing
poop
up
show.
weeks now.
I'll get out the right notes.
All right.
Start over.
So this month's game is going to be Final Fantasy III, aka Final Fantasy VI.
Right.
I always hate that. And you know
Yeah.
what? Looking up game facts for this game, stupid, because I have to type in Final Fantasy VI, and they're like, Final Fantasy III, and I'm like, no, 6, because I actually know. And then they're like, no, but it's 3, but it's really 6. We know that it's 6.
Yeah.
I might have played the wrong game.
Nuh-uh.
I might have.
Was there naked chicks
It
in
was 3. It was Final Fantasy 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. For SNES.
Yeah. How did
Yeah,
it start?
yeah.
There's lots of stories, and then there's 3 people in a robot suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah.
That's right. One.
I would never heard the end of that shit.
There's lots of stories.
Lots of stories. Robot suits. Oh yeah.
No,
That's
three-
Final Fantasy 3.
It's 6, 3.
Yeah.
6-3.
6, 3, 7,
yeah.
8.
I hate
So
that.
let's go over the vital stats for this game here.
That's like when somebody's like, you know, Mario 2 is actually the other game in
Yeah.
Japan, Doki
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 Panic. Did you know that? Did you know that? It's like, yeah, dude. I fucking grew up. I know that shit.
I fucking look. I didn't get arrested at the age of 3 where I couldn't learn things.
Dude,
I've
there are
spent the
people.
last 20 years in solitary confinement.
There are people in jail who know that.
That's true, man. That's true.
You know, it's everybody wants to drop some knowledge on you, but
There's
it's like
Nintendo in jail.
Yeah,
you
they
can't,
have
you can't
the-
drop knowledge on any of us.
Yeah.
right.
Not just us. I mean, like
Any-
the royal us. Like
People.
If people in jail know about it, it's common knowledge.
If you want to say that to somebody, you should say it to a dog, because they don't know.
The dog would be like, that's awesome.
Dog's like, I didn't know that.
in the
didn't know that.
Shawshank
No idea.
Redemption, what was the name of the guy that got out of jail?
Brooks.
Brooks.
Brooks
Brooksy
yeah.
knew about
Yeah,
Doki
dude,
Doki
he knew
Panic.
about it.
Yeah.
That's how many people knew about it.
Yeah, on his breaks at the supermarket, he would go back and play, and he's like, yo, Dear Red, did you know that Super Mario 2?
Do you remember Doki Doki
He
Panic?
carved that in the thing above, and it was like Mario 2 equals Doki Doki Panic.
Brooks was here.
less people know how he got out of jail in Shawshank Redemption than know about Doki Doki Panic.
That's true.
Yeah, that's probably
That's
true.
true.
fact. Yeah.
It's very true.
That is true.
Brown dropping science on us right now.
How do you get out of jail? I don't
Yeah,
know.
parole.
I don't know. I've never seen that movie.
You never been home on a Sunday when TBS is on?
I hate Tim Robbins.
Would you just skip channel 27 altogether?
How can you hate Tim Robbins?
Because he's a
Well,
fucking retard.
We're getting really derailed. Let's go back to Final Fantasy.
Did you know Tim Robbins did the voice for Final Fantasy 3?
And onward to vital stats.
Here we go. All right.
This game was released on April 2nd of 1994. When
Wow.
I read 1994 on the front like intro title slide of this game,
You got
I was
nostalgic.
I got nostalgic and I was like, was that the perfect year? Because I remember
It
that year
was.
being good as shit.
You've talked about
Green
that
Day,
before.
Weezer.
Yeah.
I touched boobs at a dance once that year.
Wait,
Did, in 6th
you
grade.
were 11 years old and you did
I was
that?
10. You
Way
touched
to go,
boobs at
man.
11?
6th grade, 7th grade, about that. Yeah, man.
Is that how
There
old?
weren't boobs.
I guess
then.
you would be that
Budding.
old. Okay.
I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
13. I'm old.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you were 13 in 1994.
Yeah, man.
So you did. So you touched boobs. Luke touched boobs.
Everyone
I
touched boobs
definitely did not touch boobs when I was 13. Sorry to break your heart, internet.
And the all internet was like, oh. Well, I thought my impression of Luke is ruined.
But not Josh. He's a sexual deviant.
But real quick, speaking of all those great musics and boob touchings that happened in 1994, or non-boob touchings,
That should be just as like a show note, real quick. That should be part of the thing. Like other things that happened in 1994.
yeah,
Like whatever game we play, that's great.
we should do the
What we
year.
were doing
What
that
happened in
what
that
else
year.
happened?
Mark
'Cause
Summers
that's
died.
more.
Mark Summers died in 94.
I
They
fucking
stopped.
wish, man. I fucking hate that guy.
that's
I gotta
not
say, hold on.
nice.
Listen to this list of games that came out in 1994. You gotta hear this.
Okay.
Super Metroid, Nick Murphy, right there.
Yeah,
Loves
dude,
that.
great game.
Yeah.
Love that game.
Final Fantasy 3,
Great
obviously.
game.
Donkey Kong Country,
Also great
Yo,
game.
man.
Doom 2.
Yeah.
I didn't do too many sequels because only when sequels were like notable, and I thought Doom 2 was a notable sequel. Earthworm Jim. Okay,
Yeah,
good
good
game. Tekken. I mean, I don't really like
Wow,
Tekken that
Tekken?
much, but Tekken came out that year.
Like for what?
No, it came out in arcade for that year.
Oh, I was gonna say. I was like, yeah.
System Shock came out, which is the precursor to BioShock. TIE Fighter, which was a great game.
Oh, dude, for computer.
dude.
TIE Fighter was awesome.
Oh, wasn't there? Oh, I'm thinking of Dark Forces.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
shit's awesome.
Dude.
That shit was
TIE Fighter's
dude,
cool
a lot
stuff,
of the
too.
early LucasArts games were really good. Warcraft, motherfucking Warcraft
Yep.
came
Oh,
out
wow.
that
Yep.
year, which is amazing. I mean, that was like Blizzard was like, hey, we're coming out now, we're awesome.
Clinton had 2 years in office.
Clinton
Things
had
were
2 years
getting
in
good,
office.
man.
Very true,
Things were
very
getting
true.
real good.
Sega Channel came out. I had to write that.
Dude,
Sega Channel.
dude, you're such a pro Sega Channel.
I had
person,
Sega
dude.
Channel
Yeah.
for so long, and
Dude,
I
you're
loved
awesome.
it.
You were the only kid
I
in
know.
In
Pennsylvania.
America.
Dude, people would come over. I was the only kid in my school that had that. People would come over, and like I made so many friends that year.
Dude, people
Mm-hmm.
come over, they'd be like, you have Sega Channel? And then you'd be like, yeah. And then they'd be like,
Touch my
where
boobs.
do you keep your diamonds?
Where's my budding 11-year-old boobs? I heard Paul has Sega Channel, but I heard you have to let him touch your 11-year-old budding boobs to play it.
This,
Well,
this
worth it.
is
Worth it.
slowly,
I was like 12.
slowly going down the drain.
It's almost
I know.
13.
This episode.
Yo,
is
dude,
just-
1994 was magical, dude. We were at like economic surplus.
I'm not done. Real quick. Real quick.
Dude, our budget was like super balanced. These kids don't care about balanced budgets.
Kids, your student loans would be paid off right now.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
You
they'd
wouldn't
be
even
paid off.
have student loans.
Dude, yeah, if we kept on the same way we were going,
You
yeah.
wouldn't even
Everybody
have to
would
pay
own
to
a
go to
jet.
school.
Everybody would own a jet ski.
Yeah.
Right now.
Everyone would own a jet.
Yeah,
jet
dude,
ski, a jet.
Everyone would have a million Pepsi points and own their own Harrier jet. By the way, you're listening to NPR, brought to you by Novo Nordisk.
Wait, when did Pepsi Kona come out?
Probably
Uh,
94.
No, it was 97, 98. I swear to God, I just looked this up the other day because Sean didn't know what it was.
That it existed?
They only test marketed it in Pennsylvania. That's
No,
why.
get
I
outta
swear
here.
to God, we were
Hold on,
like,
For
real
those
quick.
that don't know, Pepsi Kona is a coffee flavored Pepsi.
yes,
It was delicious.
Yeah,
was
my
good.
brother loved it.
Delicious is the wrong word.
super delicious.
Real quick, 2 more games. This is in Japan. Mother 2, aka Earthbound,
Yep.
came out in 94.
Yep.
Huge. And the PlayStation 1 came out in 94
Wow,
in Japan.
yeah.
In Japan.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I mean, but like that's an eventful year for video games.
Those are good.
Yeah.
Good
There
year.
was a lot of
Banner year.
dude, banner year. Nintendo dubbed it the year of the cartridge. Actually.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, some kid listening to this is like, and I was born that year.
Yeah.
Nintendo only dubbed it that
no.
because in the Japanese calendar, that's one of the 12 things.
Yeah.
Dragon, chicken,
glad-
cartridge.
Rat cartridge.
Well, no,
Super
No,
racism.
Dragon is Chinese. We're talking about the Chinese or the Japanese, which is
Right.
which is
Cartridge, panty sniffing.
panties, subway suicide,
Octopus tentacle in
Oh,
pussy.
one other good thing happened in 1994.
What?
Kurt Cobain died.
That's
Oh shit!
shot himself. That's true.
Dude, way to go.
I'll agree with that.
Yep. I'm not going to deny that was really good.
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, Pulp
Yeah.
Fiction 1994,
Pulp
right?
Fiction '94. It was a great banner year, man. Banner year.
the best
I was
year.
10, a decade of my life.
Yo,
was
Kurt
gone by.
Cobain, he had the right idea. He's like,
Comes
look,
out
94,
early.
Mother 2 just came out. I'm out.
It's like when that shit hits the shores, I'm not topping that.
Yeah, man.
I could write.
He's the one who played Earthbound every day.
That's the first time
That I got a song right.
in history that you got a song.
I started to sing it. And I was like, I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna nail it.
Paul was actually practicing all 2 weeks.
out of all the great songs that you've like listened and sang, like the Who and all that shit, that fucking
gotta
Nirvana
fucking-
is the first one that you're like, yes.
Fucking nailed it.
Oh, man.
Singing that shitty Kurt Cobain, that horrible
Kill
Kurt
him, kill him.
Cobain cover.
Paul Ritchey, check out.
I'm done. Time to beat for this game, 33 hours. That's just the main quest.
I believe it. Yeah,
Unless I
believe
get
it.
pneumonia, I'm not beating this game.
Sadly, I cannot beat this game in 2 weeks.
Have you guys ever beaten this game before?
No,
Oh, really?
never beaten it.
I don't think I have.
Great game.
Well,
Beat it
we'll
many
talk
times.
about why I didn't beat it in a little bit.
Okay.
I also want to go over a couple of the notable people. This game has like every notable like SquareSoft employee ever on it.
I'm gonna guess one. Their composer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Super great. Nobuo. Yeah.
Umatsu.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was pretty much the composer for every Final Fantasy
Yeah.
game.
Dude's great.
Yoshitaka Amano, who our friend Mike Sadorf loves him. He was the character designer on pretty much every game as well.
Yeah.
I think he did a really good job in this one. I really like the character designs. And then the directors of the game, the original director of the game was Yoshitaka Amano. Or I'm sorry, their names all sound the same to me.
That sounds so real. real.
I'm gonna call a bluff on the Amano designs looking good in this.
You don't think so?
Because they're sprites.
I want to get to the sprites. We're gonna go over
I mean,
graphics
so I'm
first.
just saying, designs, his logos, the characters,
Yeah.
the paintings that they have of his character designs
Right.
are awesome.
Right.
That's not what you see in the game.
Well, the character portraits are there though, and they're all by him.
Yeah, from here up.
Right.
As I said, pointing to my neck.
Radio. The original director of this game was Hironobu Sakaguchi, and he was the director of Final Fantasy 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Okay.
He stepped down when he was doing this game, though, because he had a lot of other projects going on at the time. But he kicked it off. But then the two guys that picked it up were Yoshinori Kitase, who directed 3, 7, 8, and Chrono Trigger,
Oh, nice.
and Hiroyuki Ito, who did 9 and 12, which are like all of my favorite SquareSoft games. All of them.
Dude, you're not a fan of 8.
What? I don't like 8 that much, but 8's on there.
8 is
Eight
the
was on
best
there.
one.
I don't like 8 that much.
Everyone says 8's the best one.
A lot of people like 8. I don't like it as much as I like 7. I like 9 a lot. I love 12. Everyone hates on 12, but I thought 12 was great.
12 the game or 12 the MMO?
12 the game. 11's the
11's
MMO.
the MMO.
Yeah.
What's 12?
12 was the one on the PS2
Yeah.
that was
Like after the MMO came out.
active
Is that the
time
one
battle
where
system.
Yeah,
it's
like-
all
I didn't like
steampunk
that
and there's
one.
big cities and stuff?
Yeah, it's like Star Wars. It's
Yeah.
Star Wars in Final
Yeah.
Fantasy, and it's
Yeah, see, I
awesome.
don't like that one that much.
That one had spaceships. You had a Millennium Falcon that you flew
Dude, it
around
had
in.
Fran.
No, they all
And
had.
Fran.
Dude, they all had airships, man.
Yeah, but their airship was shaped like the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get
Dude,
that
But
far
it's
in
not
that game.
Star Wars.
It.
I don't like
Dude,
it when
it's
I don't like
it
it when
has-
it doesn't pause.
It has
I don't like
cantinas.
the active one.
You could pause it at any moment.
No, but I like making.
I don't
my
like
choices
people's
up.
things with 12 and 13 when they're against it because they say that you can't pause it. You can pause it. You can pause it any moment in any of those games, and it's just as turn-based as any of them.
Okay, I'll take it.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
Just because you can
Okay.
walk around while you're
Okay.
doing it, it just makes it for me. It feels like you're doing something. When
Yeah, but
not
you're
doing
really not doing anything.
it. No, you're not at all. So, anyways, there's some really notable guys here, and I gotta say, like, I think it's pretty cool that, like, you know, like, I mean, look, this is the best. This is the best game of the franchise according to many people.
Right.
And like you could tell, like this is where their like all stars really came together
Yeah.
to create like this is where they all kicked off their careers and they diverged and came back at certain points to come back into the series.
It's like the
and-
Dream
and
Team
Yeah, this
in
is like the Dream
'92,
Team.
but
Yeah.
2 years later for
They
a
were
video
the
game.
Nirvana of Final Fantasy.
Yes.
games.
They were the Chicago Bulls.
Yes.
They
I was
were
gonna say they were
the
Orlando
traveling Woolberry.
Yes.
What?
Traveling Wilburys.
The
Yeah.
Expendables.
They were, yeah,
There
there
it
for you
is.
new kids.
Yeah.
They're Expendables.
There we go.
Yeah.
Also not a fan.
Let's go over graphics first because we want to talk about this Amano stuff. I just want to say real quick, that opening. As soon as
Dude.
that lighting starts, you're just like,
What's that thing that Super Nintendo had that like mode 7 or
Mode
whatever?
7.
Oh, yeah.
They like utilize that really well, especially
Yes.
like where they're like walking in that store and you're like, oh fuck, they're going to walk.
dude, and the
fuck
credits
shit
are
up.
coming up during it. And you're like,
Yeah, man.
It's like a movie. It's cinematic.
Yeah,
it's
very
like,
cinematic.
All right.
And I like the graphics in it. I was just saying, you don't get Amano.
right,
sprites.
right. I know what
No,
you're saying.
I mean you get them in like the enemies. Because like you're walking in those suits and you're like, all right, these look pretty cool. And then you go and like you fight one of those mech suits and you're like, that one's got like spikes and shit. I want that one. That one looks way better.
You're like,
That
oh,
one's
that
got-
slug has a badass shell.
Better not attack it.
I actually did.
Yeah,
I was
dude.
like, what's gonna happen if I
think
do
we all-
that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Gotta test the waters.
Try
Prove
it.
it, bitch.
Well, so you think it's just the sprites don't fully represent?
No, yeah, I mean,
His artwork?
I think it's obviously at the time, and again, Super Nintendo
Right.
was good looking,
Mm-hmm.
graphic wise. It could push the boundaries of some stuff. Had a lot
Yeah.
of good colors.
Yeah.
And I thought for an RPG, it was definitely like amazing. Look, I mean, Chrono Trigger beats it when
Absolutely.
eventually that comes, but the all those games, going whatever it is, whatever Japanese artist is designing these characters, you never get a real sense of their stuff. Then you see like the concept art in a book like
Yeah.
10 years later, and
Yeah.
you're like, that's awesome. That's what that looked like. Like,
That's what he was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
you're
Oh,
like
that's what
blown
he was
away.
going for.
like Kafka.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Dude, yeah.
Like,
Dude, fuck Kefka.
yeah, well, obviously, but
Franz
later he
Kafka.
shows up in like that Final Fantasy like fighting game.
Right.
So do some of these other characters. But like
Yeah.
Kefka shows up, and you're like, that's what Kefka looks like.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, oh, he is totally misrepresented by his sprite in this
Right,
game.
yeah.
He looks like this little, like, chubby, like
Jester
like,
motherfucker.
yeah, Jester. But then you see him, and he's like this horrifying, like, lanky, like, murderous Jester, you
Yeah.
know? I gotta say that...
So
like,
a jester.
So a Jester, yeah. So Jesters, that's what they
That's
did, right?
what they are.
I remember when I like thought back to this game, and when I remember playing it when I was younger, I remember not liking the graphics and being like, "Ah, these guys look stupid." Like just thinking that they looked like silly and
Like
deformed.
cutesy.
Yeah, like cutesy. But when I looked at it this time, like going back at it, I guess maybe I have a new like found appreciation for pixel art.
Yeah.
Now that I'm so used to 3D,
Right.
and I look at them and I'm like, those are actually like really well done. Like they're deformed, but they have defined like parts of their bodies and stuff like that.
It's hard to make anything look like anything when you have a confined space
Yeah,
of
like
squares.
26
Exactly,
pixels
yeah.
to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they do look good, I agree.
They have
yeah.
arms, they have legs,
Yeah.
and they're like you can see every part of it. Like they have like their fingers wag when
They
they,
have,
do
like,
their finger wag all the
attitude,
time.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
they
some
they
are, like,
emote really
angry.
well.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they're well done. I can understand that too. Where you're just like because like looking back, I was like this is very much more cutesy. I guess because my imagination kind of took over when I
Yeah.
was a kid, and I like filled in the
And now you're
gaps.
dead inside.
And now I have nothing like that. It needs to be literal all the time. No, but I still like appreciate what they did and stuff.
right.
The battle graphics always kind of messed me up. It's like, you were always like those cutesy guys. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
the
But then-
troubles or whatever they were.
yeah, like Kefka's a great example. Like there's Kefka the sprite, and then there's Kefka like the battle, like painted version that looks
Yeah.
like awesome. And you're like,
Yeah.
man, I wish your characters did the same thing. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
you had representation like that.
Right.
Yeah.
But they are like very animated. Like especially what's there's like the one guy who is like a knight.
Edgar.
No. He comes later. He has like slick back hair.
Oh,
You know,
the
he
sea?
does like like cyan.
I
think something
no,
like that.
It's like not Cecil. It's like I haven't gotten him yet.
I don't know.
but
When I was a
know
kid,
you're
I always
right.
renamed them, so
It's
I'm all
a-
like
yeah.
fucked
it's
up.
I was going to
C-word.
ask you, are you going to rename them?
I do. I always
Contalingus.
I don't know. He has like swords
was
and
it.
shit.
That was it.
But like when he
That was
does his like sword stuff, you see him like he brings out this like giant sword and like swings it. And you like there's like animation for him like swinging,
Yeah.
which is
Right.
really cool. So they did a good job of like bringing those things to life.
Yeah,
I think.
absolutely. Shane G, aka Mandy Moore fan 14,
Nice.
wrote in again.
That's a great name.
and
He,
it's-
he
I-
beat me to it.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I know you're 15. I've seen your name on Xbox Live. So add Luke.
Now
Mandy
I know
Moore.
who my enemy is. Hope you didn't put your phone number on YouTube.
You're dead to me.
You wrote in and you said he was also not very impressed with the graphics. He thought a lot of other SNES games did it better. But I just wanted to read that he said, P.S. Yes, I do own Hand in My Pocket.
What?
I don't know what
is
that means. Didn't you say something about that?
Oh, because the Mandy Moore thing.
Mandy Moore song?
Gotcha.
I don't know what it means, but I knew that you said
It's his
that
album,
the other
right?
day.
It was her album. It was a good song. And the guy who wrote it, not the I'm sorry.
Whatever.
Seriously,
Tangent
welcome to
talk.
Tangent Cast. The guy who wrote it like did a version of it on his own later. That's in like movies now, still today. It's very like more ethereal. It's kind of like if it's got a more of like a Sting's Desert Rain vibe.
Really?
Oh my God.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I'm
That's
dead
awesome.
serious.
Nick's gonna go download it right
Dude,
now.
that's
It's got
really
that
cool.
kind of vibe, like. It's like if
This
you-
is a Mandy Moore fucking
Okay,
song.
all right.
Yeah.
Andrew Jazak wrote in as well, and he said the graphics are overall nice, but the map sucks. Maybe that's the
Yeah.
that's the Game Boy screen he's playing on his Game
Oh,
Boy.
yeah.
But often I can't see those small flashy little dots for town/points to go
Right.
to, and I really don't have a sense for where I've been or the layout of the world from the sandcastle movements and the tunnels, universe warps, dead world, ruin, whatnot throughout the game where I am now.
Like land bridges and shit. Dude,
yeah.
that shit gets annoying.
I agree with him too. Like even playing it on, like I'm playing a ROM of it, and
Yeah.
the map just it is hard to see the dots. They looks like there's just dots everywhere on the map,
Yeah.
and also the world just doesn't look varied. It looks pretty similar to me. Like all the spots kind of look the same. Like the
Right.
mountain areas look the same, the grass areas look the same. So it is kind of a bland world map. I gotta say that I think that's a
Well, totally.
shortcoming.
I think like the that can't be like too. It can't be too expansive just because like at some point like I'm gonna spoil everything. So fucking deal with it. The game's like
Okay.
20 years old at this point.
It's fine.
So like like later on you get an airship. Like that's not a big deal. So like you can't make it like too much bigger, right? So
Final Fantasy game with
spoiler
airship?
alert: there's a guy named Sid in it. I don't know if there is, but there probably is. I don't know.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So like that's got to be like a certain thing. Then fucking further down the line in the game, also spoiler. The fucking world changes. Like some shit happens
twice,
and the fucking map changes.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. Like that. I've never played a game where that's like something that happens. Like once you get to a certain point, there's no going back to like the other way. You know what I mean? Like there's like a fucking finality in it.
Right.
Well, they do that in the beginning though too. Like you can't go back through caves. Like
yeah. Oh no, you can. You go back through that shit.
But like
later in the game, I mean.
Later.
Yeah, but like you. I mean. I don't know, like in the way beginning, you face like those horde of guys or whatever.
Right.
Like you can't leave until you.
Oh
do
yeah,
that.
you go through that town and you're like, yeah, you can't come back.
Yeah.
Until like 20 hours later.
You gotta do this.
Yeah, you gotta do this other shit.
It's only like 3 hours later. Or I guess while you're getting into town, I don't know. That's a lot further.
Yeah, later in town is like further on.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you though. It's like they do a lot with it. They change a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of like I know what you're saying. But I gotta say, like that was the one. If I'm gonna give one rub to it,
totally,
that's
the world
one
isn't
rub.
big enough to like make me believe that it exists.
It's not World of Warcraft where
I can't fly around the world in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. That's how they're all like.
I know. Yeah,
they're all like that.
loop
They're all
around.
like you can go around the world really quick.
Yeah.
Anything else to say about graphics?
I'm good.
well, because you brought up going back for items, I want to get into gameplay. Let's go into gameplay / controls. Obviously, this game set the bar for the JRPG pretty much.
Yeah.
One thing that I really didn't like that sort of drove me nuts was that it was the items. Items in chests will evolve to better items if you don't open those chests at the beginning of the game.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. It's awesome, but
That's
also
stupid.
really annoying because you're like trained to open a chest as soon as you see it.
Yeah.
But if you wait, they upgrade.
That's awesome.
And you have to remember.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like I only vaguely remember that after like doing some of the stuff, and I was like, wait a minute, this feels familiar.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to do this. I got to come back later, and then this fucking sleeping bag will be something really awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I don't need that shitty sleeping
I remember
bag.
that wasn't a Chrono Trigger like that too. Like if you did something
No,
in like previous time.
Chrono Trigger had a thing where from the beginning of the game, if you did certain actions, you were put on trial later, and they asked you questions
About what you did.
and
right.
and in your head, you would think that you did the right thing,
Right.
Because you just think back to it. But it always, like for instance, at the beginning, Marlene, the princess, gets knocked over.
Right.
And she flies one way, and her necklace flies the other way, and the necklace is like glowing and flashing.
Right.
And your first instinct as a video game player is to go to the glowing, flashing object, grab it, and then go talk to her.
But your
Right.
first instinct as a gentleman, is to pick up the lady who fell.
And that's what they ask you. They're like, "Did you go and were you more concerned with her or with her jewelry?" And then they show you going to her jewelry.
Oh shit, that's crazy.
And it's I just played that game like 6 months ago, and I remember doing it and
Nice.
being like, "Oh my god, I totally forgot." Like,
Yeah.
See, that's
so
cool. See, I like stuff like that. You're
Yeah.
right. It's kind of like annoying in the beginning, but I think that's like a nice payoff
Well,
for
that's
like
cool.
a replay. You know what I mean?
It is. It's good for replay, and I agree 100% with that. I like it better what they did in Chrono Trigger, where it was like you're like if you replay it again, you're like, oh, I can do it the right way now.
Right.
And like
right.
it doesn't really do much for you. It just helps you get through
Get out
that
of that
trial part
faster,
yeah. But like withholding better items for me kind of pisses me off. But I understand.
No, I
It's-
agree because it's dumb. Because like I'm not. I
There's
don't
no
wanna
way to
fucking
know.
Walk all the way. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, there's no way to know. There's no way to know.
But
Go ahead. Yeah,
we're
you
talking about
talk
gameplay, right?
You talk about gameplay controls.
Yeah, the controls are very standard, very straightforward. The one thing that always irked me from like playing this game from like the get go were the fucking sprint shoes.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? That you like move slow, and then you equip this one thing that takes up one slot in your thing. You can move faster, and it's just like just fucking give me a run button. You know what I mean?
Not on the newer versions.
Oh really?
Yeah, on the Game Boy versions, you just can do it.
All the time?
Mm.
Dude, that's sweet, man.
That's the
'cause that
version
was
I'm playing.
always a game
Damn.
code I put in.
I should have known that. I should have
Yeah,
played
the
that.
old
Yeah.
SNES version only. What's Wolf? Right, the guy. No, what the hell's the name of the guy? Now I
The
forget.
thief?
Guy.
The thief.
guy?
Oh, Locke.
Locke. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know why I said Wolf. I was thinking
Locke.
of. I was thinking of.
Watching Lost
Pulp
again.
Fiction.
Yeah, the woof.
Yeah, and but yeah, so only he could do it in the beginning, and then you get that thing. But in
Gotcha.
the Dash through the world, but now in the more updated like re-releases,
Right.
You could just do it.
Because they're
That's
like, this is good game design to be able to actually move fast.
right,
Instantly.
exactly.
Yeah.
But other than that, the controls are good. Like the one thing I like is, playing it through the first time, like years ago when I'm fucking 12 years old. They introduced like a lot of gameplay mechanics like right off the bat, and you're just like, yeah, figure this out. This battle system,
Yeah.
figure it out. And then once you get past all the shit, they're like, oh, here's like this place where you can learn about all the shit, and we'll explain it to you if you want, but you don't have to if you don't want to.
To be fair,
which is super nice.
Yeah.
Looking back, like I wish fucking more games were like that.
Right.
Like, hey, if you want to learn about all this shit, you can learn it right here.
Yeah.
If not, you can just fucking go down
Continue.
south to fucking Fiargo or whatever it is.
Figaro, yeah.
Figaro,
South,
yeah.
South Figaro.
Yeah.
But like one thing I did like the battle thing is like that multiple battle thing, the multiple where you can like switch people
Hitting
to like
Y
fight.
to
to switch to like
Yeah.
another party and stuff. That was really cool, and they introduced that like way early on.
It's like Final Fantasy
Yeah,
Tactics.
it's very
much
like
like
later they were like, let's make a game based on this.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's how
But
good
you
it
like
was.
forget about that because you do that in the beginning, and you're like, oh, okay, that was kind of weird. I
Yeah.
guess I'll never have to do that again until like that's like part of like the key elements like later in the game is you have to
Yeah.
do stuff like that.
Right.
That's a really cool thing. I always thought that was like an awesome part of like introducing you to something early on you forget about, and then you're like, oh, it's like that thing I did before because I learned how to do that. That was awesome.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well, it's the thing with that we talked about the
Yeah,
Super
what we
Meat
were
Boy,
yeah.
like where it's like they show you how to do it, and then like you figure out when to use it again later, and it makes you feel smart,
Yeah.
Right.
Because you're like, oh,
It's
I
like a
figured that
cookie.
out.
It's like you're in a lab and you're a rat and they give you a pellet.
I'm learning.
But this
That's
this,
what life is. Enjoy.
you're always explaining what life is on this show.
Yeah.
I just
I
listened-
honestly have no idea what life is.
We're just talking about life with Josh. Thanks for listening.
Sponsored by Monster.
Some kitty cat. That's a monster noise. No, it's like a tiger. Go to the zoo, Paul.
And now the monster pick of the day. He's the one and
that pretty songs.
That hurts my voice every
We'll be
time
giving
I do
away
that.
tickets to Mandy Moore's concert later tonight.
Many more fan.
I'll take caller number 12.
This game also introduced the active time battle system. It wasn't the first one to do it, I don't think, but I think it was 2 that introduced.
Fuck 2.
Maybe it was 4. I think it was 4 that it was introduced in, but North America got it in this because this was our third title. 2 didn't have it. 1 and 2 didn't have it. We got this one third. So this is the first time we ever got to experience active time battle, which was
Cool.
awesome.
I love it.
Yeah, because
That's
it's
my
just
favorite
like-
kind of thing.
I mean, it's so much better than just like, all right, go, go, go.
And it's
Wait
in
for them
like
to go.
Yeah, wait
all
for
the rest
them.
of them.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but they got rid of some of it, so it's more like.
No, that's how it is. It's always been
Wasn't
active time battle.
13? Is 13 like that?
13 still. That's all it is. People say these things are real time or like action art.
Action RPG.
They're not
yeah.
action RPGs. They're still based on active time battle.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all it is.
I just felt like some of them lost that like turn-based kind of thing. Because for
Because-
me, I always felt like I was playing like chess instead of
Right.
like playing like I don't know, fucking pinata. You know what I mean? It was just like I'm
Uh,
calculating
wait,
these
what?
things.
like pinata?
Why you like hit
Nick-
pinata a lot? I
Nicholas
don't know.
Singleton.
I'm trying to think of another game you hit things a lot.
Because you hit pinata a lot.
Well, I just mean like
I
when-
know that's great. That was a great
No, when-
explanation of pinata.
I'm glad. But no, I felt like with this, I was like calculating and like being like, okay, well, I'm planning to do this, and he's gonna probably want to do this. But if I heal doing this, it like I felt like I was like.
You had to plan a couple
plotting.
turns
That's
ahead,
all
yeah.
that
You
that
know what I
game is. That's all that any of these games are, though. It's once you figure out when to heal, you're unstoppable.
No,
Yeah.
but they
That's the
yeah,
whole
right,
game.
right, exactly.
Heal
But
this
then
time, you win.
They got rid of that stuff because you can't. In the other ones, you couldn't control your party members.
Right.
You just controlled your dude.
Well, you
Yeah.
can't. I 13. I forget. I haven't played it in a
I don't
while.
talk about my ass. I played
But
13
12,
for like 20
yeah,
minutes.
Yeah, and 12, you could control every person. You just had to pause it and assign what they would do.
What they would do.
Gotcha.
That's
yeah.
all it was. But
Okay.
people acted like you could only control your one guy. But no.
That's
okay.
how Knights of the Old Republic was too. Like you could tell them to do a certain set of moves,
Yeah.
Okay.
and then your main guy is usually the main guy who was doing those
Right.
the main things though,
Right.
like
Okay.
healing or whatever.
Yeah, so you could still do that in all these new ones. So active time battle has essentially been around through
Okay.
the entire series, except for 1 and 2. But yeah, I mean that was a really cool introduction, and I agree with a lot of the new mechanics, like all the new like types of moves you could do, like the blitz.
Yeah.
The
That stuff was great. All the jobs.
the
you know,
jobs.
That
yeah.
was great.
And like the magic system's cool in this game.
Yeah. Yeah.
How you can learn it and stuff like that. It's like it reminds me of, well, I guess 7 reminded me of this, where you could attach the materia and eventually learn it.
Right.
And stuff like that. That was always cool.
When
Yeah, I
you
love-
walk,
that's
your
right.
mana goes up, right? I'm sorry. Is that
No.
true?
I don't think so. No, I think that's why you have to buy the
You have to sleep and stuff for it to go back
sleep
up.
and tinctures and shit.
Find those like
I just
fucking
use magic.
like water barrels.
Yeah, little
Yeah,
water
to
barrels,
heal your shit,
little
yeah.
like health buckets,
Why can't I just walk and get my magic go? Make
'Cause-
magic go,
because they're not like you.
Because it's not Halo, bro.
It's not Halo, bro.
This shit ain't Halo, Josh.
dude. I'm out.
No,
Shit's
I
not like
like
Halo,
that
I'm
stuff.
out.
Like that, like learning system. I like that stuff a lot. And like,
Yeah.
it reminded me. To say it reminded me of Final Fantasy VII. That's dumb. But
I almost said that too, though.
They're very similar. They're based off that same kind of like concept, which
I
is
think
nice.
this game and 7 have a lot in common,
Yeah,
actually.
I agree.
And I think that's because the main director was Kitase, and he had the co-director, Ito was a co-director on it as well, but and I think 9 and 12 had a lot of stuff in common with 7 too, and
Yeah.
they all directed it. Even 8, I mean.
I like the
all
way
the
they
games.
did the magic because like certain magics you could like target one thing or target all. Targeting all makes it like however many things are. It's like that. Like if there's 4 guys, it's like 1/4 power on each. You know
Right.
what I
It's like
mean?
area of effect instead
right,
of
right.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think that's like such a good thing
Yeah.
because then like 7, you had to like attach that fucking all materia on there.
Yeah.
But I think that was like a nice way to like do the magic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But there's like nice like status things that they don't tell you about. You just kind of have to like learn about.
Right.
Like like haste, like the regenerate one, float, the reflect, all that stuff. You just, like someone casts on you, you're like, oh, someone cast slow on me. I don't know what that means, but
Yeah.
oh, my shit's going all fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess that means I'm slow. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
I should protect against that.
Yeah.
Dude,
exactly.
the worst isn't someone poisons you, right? If you get poisoned in this
Yeah.
game, because normally you'd just be like, oh shit, I'm poisoned. I'm gonna lose stuff over the battle.
Yeah.
And this one, that shit stays on
It stays
you.
on you. It's
Yeah.
just like, I think Chrono Trigger does that too.
It's just
Dude.
like real life
Yeah.
when you're
No, but
getting
here's
bit by
like the
snake.
fucking shit. Yeah, dude, it is.
After the battle, you gotta get that fixed.
Dude, because after the battle, you like try and walk around, it gets all like fucking
Yeah.
drunk vision,
yeah.
and it gets all fucked up. You're like, fuck, I gotta fucking heal because I'm on the fucking mountain and I don't have any antidotes. I'm done.
Luke?
I was gonna say because in 1 and 2, I think it's been so long since I played 1 or 2 on the NES, but you could like put guys in rows, like I want you in the back,
Yeah.
and front.
Yeah,
but
7's like that
in,
too.
Yeah.
Well, 7 is like that, but in 6, 3, whatever.
Stop confusing me.
That
I'll start
was-
playing wrong.
Like the first time, like it kind of like mattered to like
Right.
put a guy in the back row, like in a battle, like your long range.
Yeah.
Oh, can you do that in
guys.
6?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I had no
you have
idea.
to.
Yeah, you have
the
to.
Octopus Ultras.
Oh,
battle.
that's right. The Banyan guy or whatever. He's in the
Yeah.
back. That's right.
That's why I stopped playing this game when I was younger. I remember getting to that point and
You're
not being
like,
able to.
ew, octopus.
Ew, octopus. Well, that was the first
that's
reason.
Little Paul. Little
That was
Paul.
the first reason that I didn't do it. But I remember getting to that battle and not knowing about the row thing because they
Yeah.
never teach you about rows and
Yeah.
you never say a word about it. And you get to that battle and it is absolutely essential that you move everyone
That's
to the
right, I
back
totally
row.
forgot.
I thought
about
they
that.
teach you about rows when the Moogles first come, and they teach you about taking control of different parties and how to set players.
Do
to
they
the
teach you
back
about
row.
rows?
I don't
Yeah.
think they teach you about rows.
I thought
don't
I
remember.
thought
don't
that was
know.
in the tutorial. I didn't replay the tutorial this time because
You know what? I didn't
remembered.
either. Yeah, maybe they do talk about it there.
I don't think I played the tutorial.
I
No,
skipped right
because,
through it.
but I think the only problem is like you don't know what powers the Moogles have.
Yeah, dude. Some of them are
Right.
like,
Yeah.
like I have a lance, I have a mace,
I have a boomerang because
I
I'm
can
Australian.
dance.
Yeah.
I just remembered Mog was like the man, so I was
Yeah,
like,
dude.
Yeah, he's the
Mog
one who
is
has
good
the
dude,
who has the dance,
Yeah,
right?
he has a dance.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah. Because he's the one who
Always plays
eventually
that dude.
you get.
Yeah.
Dude, I put that guy in charge of my group all the time.
Oh, dude, you gotta use a
Walk
model.
around the
You
world.
put a chubble in charge of your group?
need a mooch.
If everyone remembers what a chubble is, obviously you can just look
I've
it up.
got one right now.
$100.
Dude, I got a raging chubble.
The Moogles were the best. I mean,
Dude,
obviously.
they're
yeah.
fucking so
Were they
great.
introduced in this game, or they've been around in 1 and 2? I don't remember.
I don't remember them.
Don't ask me,
I
dude.
can't remember. I was trying to remember if this was the one that introduced like them and chocobos
Yeah.
and things like.
Yeah.
I doubt it because they had to have been around in 3, 4, or 5 before this.
Well,
Yeah.
but maybe not in America.
right. That's what I
Yeah.
mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
they might have introduced us to them in America. But yeah, that's what I wasn't
They
sure.
had
weren't
one in
ready for-
7. I remember reading about that, and I was like, "Oh, fucking shit! Moogles are coming back. That's fucking awesome."
Dude.
And it's fucking Kate Sith, and I was like, "No,
You're like, that's not a Moogle.
no, get
I
the
know
fuck
that's
outta
not.
here."
But it is
Fuck
cooler
it.
because it's a cat that controls a fake Moogle.
No,
That's awesome.
no,
That's awesome.
dude, he was the worst character.
I use them all the time.
Are you kidding me?
Yes. No.
I'm
not
playing this
kidding.
game full of chance. Let me add this additional thing of chance into everything. No, that dude's terrible.
I used them.
No,
Tifa Cloud and
What?
and
You were playing the most random game ever. You're like Tifa, where I could miss this thing, and Kate Sith, where it could be death for everybody.
Tifa had the big boobs.
Yeah, Tifa had them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what, dude? I had
She
Cinemax.
was like,
It's not a
I'm
big deal.
wearing suspenders, and they go around.
Around
It was
boobs.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty nice.
Her, Kate Sith, Cloud, my team.
Really?
It was only 3, right? Or could you have 4? In
No,
there?
it was 3, dude. I did.
Or Vincent. I put Vincent in
I
a
did Cloud, Vincent, Barrett. Sometimes Sid.
It's a good team. Sid was great too.
Good team.
But,
Good team.
Speaking of that, I want to talk about the characters. There's 14 characters in this game, which is the most characters in any Final Fantasy game. What are you about?
So many. It's
Yeah.
way
There's
a
a lot.
No,
there's
I-
like a lot of hidden characters.
That's
too.
actually what I wanted to ask. Let's go around the table here. I wanted to ask, do you like when there are a lot of characters or a few? Josh can start.
I like a good varied amount, but that doesn't
The
have
fuck
to
does
be
that
a
mean?
lot. It could mean there could be 5, but if they're very different, I like that.
Yeah, some of these characters are very similar
Yeah.
to other ones.
If there's 14 and 6 of them are the same warrior class or whatever the fuck Final Fantasy shit is,
Okay.
whatever that is, you know.
So you would prefer 6 strong characters,
Yeah, I prefer less
strong,
strong.
varied characters.
Yes.
strong varied characters. Luke.
I think it's cool, but
Come
you know,
on,
I'd
side with me.
I know. I think it's cool. It's it's neat to have all these extra characters in there because it gives you an incentive to like, I missed this thing. Now I need to replay this game again to go
Right.
make sure I get
That's
this
true.
guy.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, like once you meet Shadow, like why do you need anyone else in your life
Hell
ever?
yeah.
Oh, really? Do you guys play Shadow all the time?
I like
Dude,
Shadow.
Ninja, please.
Come on, dude.
Dude, he did look like Snake Eyes a lot.
Yes,
when
he
I was a
did.
kid.
And he has the dog.
Yeah, he does have that dog. He throws that dog out. He's like, ha! Attack!
What do you think about the characters?
Dude, I like having like a lot of characters. I think it's like an interesting kind of, and especially in a game like this, it gives you a lot of like, you know, side missions to do.
Right.
I mean, sometimes you don't really care. Like I remember like being like later in the game where there's like that old man and like his granddaughter, and she has like these powers and stuff. I remember doing that, and I was just like, oh god, this is so boring. I don't care about these guys because I
Right.
hate using them. But like, it does give you a lot of options to like pick different people, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's cool to have, like, I agree. I like having a lot of characters because it's cool to be able to, like, that's one thing that a lot of people that wrote in asked about, like, oh, what team are you guys using? Please tell us your teams. Which I don't think we can all say yet until, I think the
No,
next
not
episode
yet.
we'll
Yeah, no,
announce
we'll talk about that next
what
episode.
our teams were. But I that's what I like is that it's like, oh, like you can customize this game to play with whatever team you want. Now, something I don't remember which characters are good and which are bad, and I know that there are technically bad characters, or not technically bad characters, but
Like,
supposed bad
Bad
characters.
as in don't play well?
As in
or-
don't play well.
Okay.
But you can make them play well if you put the right items
Michael
on
Jackson
them and
bad.
stuff like that.
Right,
Michael
right.
Jackson bad. Well, those are like Saban and Shadow are
Yes.
Michael Jackson bad.
Yeah, yeah.
He comes up a lot on this random cast.
Yeah. Someone who was it that wrote in about Saban? It was BJ Prejean. He wrote in and sent an awesome Saban comic, which we'll have to put in the.
Oh, that's
in
awesome.
That's cool.
in the thing. It's Saban, and he's just like they're fighting the train. And then it's like
I do remember
it's
that.
like Saban uses like what is it, like body slam or like
Yeah.
throw or something, and they're like, "Are you serious?" And he's like, "I'm motherfucking Saban."
Dude, that's awesome.
awesome.
Yeah, put that on Facebook. That's
Yeah,
great.
well,
Dude, that guy's awesome because he was just like, you know what's popular? Wrestling.
yeah.
Let's make this guy do wrestling. Also, he's gonna have a crew cut rat thing and a
Yep.
rat tail.
Yep.
So that's gonna be great.
I like that he sounds like a
Japanese
wrestler,
dudes
too.
apparently sound like that. They're like, we're gonna have a meeting and we're gonna talk about what's gonna be in this game. This dude body slamming a train is gonna be great.
We're going to have a very respectable meeting.
All the Japanese people.
Also, poison a village. Just saying. Put it out there. It's gonna happen in the game. Deal with it.
Japanese people all sound like Charlie Day. William D. Conklin wrote in and said, I played through the majority of the game using Saban, Edgar, Terra, and Celeste.
Yeah,
Is
Celeste is
the
good.
knight? Or is
Terra
that
the
chick?
first chick
No,
that you get?
she's like the magic
Yeah.
using person that works for the Empire.
That's right, yeah. He said only making substitutions when the storyline made me. And because he thought that the rest of the characters didn't really weren't that interesting. Like they just, they were like, those are like the main characters, sort of.
Right.
And,
But the story like centered
yeah.
around, yeah.
I always find it difficult in a game like this to get rid of people who you met first.
Yeah.
Because they're with you the
We've been
longest.
so
and-
much through so much.
Yeah. It's like you've been through your hero's journey and you develop an unhealthy sexual imagined relationship with
Yeah.
an 8-bit
Girl with
fucking-
green hair.
Yeah, girl with
exactly.
green hair who you
You're like-
renamed
You're
to
like,
your name.
I totally have to ship Locke and Terra. Locke and Terra
Yeah.
must be shipped.
Yeah. So
Yo, can we talk about renaming or should we wait till next?
Well, let's talk. Well, real quick.
talk about
we'll do that at the end. We'll do that at the
Okay,
end. And real quick, Nick Case also wrote in and said, one of its most notable qualities for me is that the game basically has no lead character. The
Yeah.
story presents you with several candidates for main character throughout the entire game, even very close to the end. And I think that's something that's really cool about this game is that like, for instance, when we get into story, we're going to talk about like when it splits into like different stories and stuff. That's so cool because it's
so
like
great.
Like, and I think games did that before this, but maybe I don't even know. I think maybe a Dragon Quest game did that before this
Probably.
one. But
When you're playing it, it's frustrating. You're like, oh man, I didn't fucking level this guy up at all. What the fuck am I
Yeah.
gonna do?
Yeah.
But it's cool because you get their story and you get their background. And you're like,
Right.
all right, this is pretty sweet.
That's
I
the
like
worst though when you're like, this guy's a pussy.
this. I got all my good armor on the other guy.
yeah, but I mean, when you break up into the different scenarios, it was such like a unique experience for me, at least, especially when I was like younger, because it's just like it reminded me of like Star Wars, or something like pulpy like that.
Well, it's
Yeah.
very it's a universe. It's a
Dude, it is,
whole
man. You're
universe.
fucking fighting
right.
against the Empire.
Yeah. It's
Right.
We gotta
Yeah.
help the rebellion.
Right.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I guess it's always the story, right?
Right,
Like,
right. It's
it's
the
a
hero's,
heroic cycle.
the hero's journey.
Yeah.
The Amnesiac's hero's journey with the buried sandcastle.
Yeah. The science behind that does not exist. There's no way. Even even with magic, even in a world
with, thing that can make anything happen. Nothing.
does not be like. There's no way. I remember seeing it as a kid. I'm like, that's fucking cool. It's going underground.
It's like, dude, those windows do not have glass in them.
Yeah, that's stone. There's sand everywhere. That's crazy. And what? You just like slide the sides in, and you're just all of a sudden going to be able to go like underground.
Yeah, I just imagine that old woman and that little girl just being like, no!
It's like a sofa bed.
Yeah. You can fit in a sofa bed.
Yeah,
I'll do it right now.
But now, like I'm thinking about that, I'm like, there's no way.
Before we get on to story, let's real quick just go over sound and music.
Beautiful.
I think
Dude.
we're just all gonna say it's amazing.
Greatest
Yeah.
music ever.
Beautiful.
Do you guys catch moments of like the jazzier cop drama sound like music?
Like
I
the-
love
yeah.
it. That reminds me of Seven. Like when you were in Midgar.
Yeah.
Like they always had like that doom doom doom.
Oh yeah, that's right. First, I thought you were talking about Seven, the movie, and I was like, oh yeah. And then I was like, oh no, Seven. Even
I
better.
thought the
Seven
exact
again.
same thing, and I was like, I don't remember that.
Were they in
remember there was like a
Midgar?
Nine
Remember
Inch
when-
Nails remix.
I was gonna
Remember a lot
I
of
don't know.
rain.
Remember when David Lynch directed Seven?
Yeah, dude, that's what it would be like.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know what we're gonna do? Drop the city.
Shrink the walls, drop the city.
Do we talk about David Lynch on every episode of this show?
I think we do.
Talk
This is a
about
big
the
part.
same shit over and over again.
But
No, dude, music is fucking great. Except
it's
for
great. It's
the
awesome.
fucking Kefka. The Kefka theme is so bad.
yeah, it's a little silly.
It's like,
For the ultimate villain of
Kefka.
for the ultimate villain of a game,
Yeah.
and he has the silliest music, and he like is always like ha 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 ha
Yeah.
laughy, like
Dude.
like
No, because his laugh is
It-
not that laugh. It's,
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
His laugh is the
it's the
worst.
Ganon
it's the
laugh.
Ganon laugh.
Yeah.
You're right. It is the Ganon.
He
laugh.
always reminds me of the
Fucking
dude
Kefka.
from Dragon Ball Z, the guy who makes the rope of the androids.
Oh, the one guy?
The guy. Paul, do you watch Dragon Ball Z?
I did, but I don't remember the name of the guy. who
That
made the
guy.
androids.
The guy who's there for 40 episodes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, there's gonna be 20 comments.
think-
Now
yeah.
people won't get that far into it.
This episode? No.
No,
They've
people
already,
stop
they've
listening
already
an
turned
hour
it
This
off.
is
Like,
gonna
I was
be a
talking about
hard-
movies. Get out of here.
It's gonna be a hard one to get through.
Good luck.
Sorry.
Let's move on to story.
Hey, if you hear this right now, way to go! Congratulations,
yeah, you're
You
one
did
of
it.
our favorite fans.
you did it.
This game,
We should give him a secret code.
Yeah, I was gonna say give him a passcode if they got
send
this
us an
far.
email and say
No, what's the secret
what would
code?
the secret code be.
Tit waggle.
The
Tit
password
waggle.
is...
There it is. Tit waggle.
I was gonna say
Kefka
zombie
nuts.
dick. Kefka nuts.
Nope, it's Zombie Dick. It's
Zombie
Zombie
Dick.
Dick. If you made it to this far in the podcast and you're listening, you comment Zombie Dick. Fuck it, have enough vote.
Yep. There it is.
That's your
Although I
no,
don't
no
think
prize
yours
for
was
the day.
Kefka what?
Kefka dick.
Kefka nuts.
Kefka
Nuts.
nuts. If you can use any of those three.
Any of those are acceptable.
Dude, the story for this game, there's so much build up.
Dude, it's so crazy.
It's
Just talk about like the beginning story, I guess, because
Yeah.
we'll get to the
Yeah.
later
Well, yeah,
story,
yeah. I mean, but this is regarded as one of the greatest FF stories, and if not one of the greatest video game stories of all time. But let's.
Can we not talk about the story so much as we talk about Biggs making it into Final Fantasy?
Biggs and Wedge?
Biggs
yeah,
and Wedge,
dude.
yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's my favorite part.
Yeah.
I
Was this
remember,
the
like-
first one that they were in?
Maybe. Yes.
Biggs
I'm gonna
and
say
Wedge?
yes.
The
Yeah.
first Final Fantasy?
Yeah, I think is this
Yeah.
the first one?
Well,
they
the
were
first one we got with them, probably.
in? Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I remember.
Because I don't know if they were like sub characters in 2 or 3.
Well, they were in The Empire Strikes Back, which is Final Fantasy 6.3 in Japan. That's what they call that.
I remember seeing that, and I'm just like, oh my god, just like in Star Wars.
Yeah.
I wonder if they did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember noticing it for the first time in 7.
Yeah.
Because it's Biggs, Wedge, and Jesse.
Right.
And then you're like, oh, okay. Like, they had a little, like, who's this Jesse person?
Wasn't Jesse in that deleted scene? There's like a deleted scene where they're on Tatooine.
Yeah, and Jesse Spano's like, I need to study for my SATs.
That's what's her fucking name?
She is like
It was a man, then they changed it to a girl. in the
Everybody
later
has like
scripts.
all these like fucking space names like Zartan.
Yeah,
And like she's
it's
just like
Molly or something
I'm
like
Julie.
that. Yeah, it's something like that.
Zartan.
Um,
He's in G.I. Joe.
but seeing Biggs and Wedge right at the beginning too is nice.
Yeah,
but
then they
dude,
fucking die, man. That's
I
not
know.
cool.
No, they don't.
Yeah,
You know?
they do. They get fucking
Nothing
zapped
dies
out.
in this world, man. It just
just Tron's out.
just you get derezzed, man.
That's great.
Not every other thing is like shit blows up, like when you kill, it's like
Yeah.
those like fire things
Yeah,
show
yeah,
up on
yeah.
it. This is just like
They just get zoned out.
All right, so they're still there in spirit.
they're in the
They
negative
go back
zone
Yeah.
with General
with
Zod.
Gaia.
You
Yeah.
you do go to like the X Zone at one point.
Yeah.
With dinosaurs, like in the X-Men.
Sean
Yeah.
White.
To get one of the characters, you have to like you cast X Zone on this like monster, and you get transported to the X Zone in this game.
I want to go to the X-Men.
I don't remember that.
I don't know. I don't know if it's the X
I'm
Zone.
gonna stop
something
before I
like
get
that.
to that point.
You will, dude. It's like 40 hours into the game. There's no way.
It's only 33 hours long, bro.
It's 40 hours in the game. 33 hours for the main story. This is like side quest 27.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I know. It's a long one.
I mean, I like the way it sets up. You're introduced to like you're trying to like make sense of this world, and you're like, oh, I'm the main character. I must be the hero.
Right.
And you're like, I'm gonna fight all this shit. But then they keep talking to you, like the people you keep like running toward, and
Right.
they're like, you're not gonna take us over. We'll never let you win. The Empire's evil. And you're like, oh shit, am I the bad guy? And then you
Yeah.
keep going, and you're like, oh fuck, I'm the bad guy.
Yeah.
Especially when like that guy rescues you, you're like, oh dude, I'm fucking terrible. I was under the influence of this other thing.
I had a
wanna do-
slave crown.
Yeah, I
on.
had a slave crown. I want to do good stuff now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's funny because you have the same reaction that the character is having because she's an amnesiac, which is
Right.
the first time ever in history
Yeah.
that there was an amnesiac lead character in an
In-
RPG.
in a
Absolutely.
story.
Yeah,
And a story ever.
in a
It's
story
also
ever.
the first time they played Radiohead's Amnesiac in a story.
Oh, dude, that was awesome.
Cool,
Remember
right?
that if you play
94.
backwards.
I just totally killed whatever you were saying. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Fuck
But
you, Radiohead.
but anyways, so like the beginning of this game is awesome. The one lots of exposition, but I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think the dialogue is good in this game. Like it is what it is. You know, it's really cheesy and bad at most of the times.
Right.
Yeah.
But the story, like the feel of the story, the arc of the story is
Right.
really good.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
The epicness of the story overall is great, but you're right. Like in the beginning, when Edgar's all like, "Number one,
Yeah.
Yo, you mean fucking Han Solo?
Yeah, right.
because you do this. Number two, because of this, and number three, because I'm trying to tap that."
Yeah.
That guy is the most Han Solo motherfucker. He's like, P.S.
No,
I
no,
have
no.
a castle.
No, that
goes underground.
Locke is Han Solo, but he doesn't act it too much.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
He's Lando. Edgar is
Oh,
Lando
shit.
without a
He
doubt.
got the
Blow
cape,
my
son.
mind.
He got the
Blew my
cape.
fucking mind.
Dude.
I wish he had that little like controller thing to
To
be like,
Lobot.
Lobot, go fucking fuck these dudes up.
That's what he does with the castle.
Yeah.
You're right.
It's like
Shit.
Lobot
Lando.
convert,
Blew
and
my
then
fucking mind.
This
and
is fucking
then
Star
Cloud
Wars.
City
Greatest
goes
game
into
ever.
the sand.
Dude, look,
Cloud City
here's the
goes
thing.
other side of Cloud City.
Ground City.
I said the 12 is Star Wars. They're all Star Wars because these
Yeah.
dudes love Star Wars.
Yeah.
That shit's
True.
awesome.
They love Star Wars, man. Biggs and Wedge are in it.
Yeah. That's pretty sweet.
I love the steampunk setting of this.
Yeah.
Real quick though, isn't it a law that when you have a steampunk setting that magic has to be spelled with a K?
Yeah,
I'm
like
fairly certain that's a law.
magics.
Magica.
Magics is
Yeah.
as like a plural from
Yeah.
a magic.
Yeah.
I thought that
thing.
was a law.
Yeah,
But
I
apparently
agree.
not.
I agree. It's like very Victorian.
Yeah.
Magics.
Magic,
Like
because they
British,
have they
yeah.
have Magitech with
Yes.
a K.
Yeah.
armor. I always thought that was just to like save on characters because they couldn't have that much.
Actually,
Because like you know like you're like, okay, so for the longest time when I played this game when I was young, I was like, oh, I need to cast Reagan. And I was like, make sure you cast
I
Reagan.
gotta cast Ronald Reagan.
Reagan all the time. I didn't realize it was fucking
Regen.
Regen. So, I don't know how to fucking pronounce things properly.
I gotta cast Heol.
He all. Hostay.
V-Ray, go!
Ike.
Ike beam.
With real quick though, with the story, playing a game like this that is in the beginning, you really don't get to play a lot.
Right.
It really makes me happy with the advances we made, where like you can, like you're like, all right, now I control this character, I get to do stuff, and like all you get to do is walk around and fucking talk to people.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, but not really, because it's just like walk 3 steps. Ah, nice exposition.
Yeah.
Walk 3 steps. You know, it really makes me happy to have cutscenes
Yeah.
Right.
today
That take care
where
of it
it's
all.
like
Yeah.
this is happening, and it's not just like 2 people standing there and a big text block.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
Like you get to see and like emotion and
Right, you
and
can
deal with all
show
that
and
stuff.
not tell.
Right.
And they don't like they have to tell a lot in this
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And I understand where that's coming, because sometimes the dialogue actually is decent, and I'm
Right,
like,
yeah.
oh, that's actually a pretty good couple lines there.
Yeah.
But then it goes back to like saying each other's names constantly, which gets really confusing to me,
Yeah.
because it says their name, and then if they say someone
Right.
else's name right after it, I'm like, what?
Who's saying what?
You
Yeah.
vile cur.
Yeah.
Like shit like that. You're like,
Right.
Yeah. But there's like some like really nice like dialogue that like gives you clues to like the world you're in. Like in the beginning when you're in like the mech suits and stuff, and you use like a magic spell with Terra, like Biggs and Wedge are like, did you fucking see that?
yeah, unbelievable.
She just fucking
Yeah.
did that shit.
I love that mid-battle aside that happens when you're fighting
Oh my
with
God.
Edgar and Locke, and they just you do like fire or something, and then they're like, whoa,
Oh, now you heal.
Wait, is
yeah, or either one. I think you can do
it's,
either.
It's when you heal and then it's
Heal.
like, your wounds just
Wait.
disappeared.
yeah.
Wait, do Biggs and Wedge do that, or do
No.
just those two?
Just no, because
Okay,
Biggs
that's
and Wedge
what-
know about it. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of those two guys. Then
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Yeah, because it's when you leave
It's like the first
Figaro
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
on the chocobos, and then you get into that first battle.
That's
with
right.
she heals, and then the guys are like, "Hang on, Max, we're fighting.
Yeah,
time
exactly.
out,
No,
time out."
Pause the fight. Pause it.
But, like
Pause the fight.
Zach Morris pulls AC Slater aside. He's like, "Did you know?" Like,
Did you see she used magic with a K?
And like it has like that like childish humor where they run off the screen. She's like, "Stop swooning, guys."
Yeah.
And then they
So, dude, it's so like anime.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh
oh
my
god.
But I mean, it's still like, okay, that's fun. You're having
Yeah.
fun with it. Like I was okay with it, but I just thought it was like really funny that they just threw like this mid-battle aside in there. you
Yeah,
know?
they're like, yo.
well, I actually like the parts where they do like when you first meet a new character that's possibly going to join your party or like
Yeah,
version
right.
of the
They set
story.
that up.
It's like, doo doo.
Yeah.
The
The
mysterious
Like,
man in black.
this guy who does this thing
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
stuff. Better stay away from him.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh.
That shit's cool. That shit.
Do you want to call him Ninja? You can call him Ninja if you want.
That's totally okay.
His name's Shadow, but you can call him Ninja.
Yeah, like I love like the like that stuff. Like like you guys were saying before with like the mode 7 through the snow. This game is like uber cinematic. I think the music has a lot to do
Yeah.
with it. The
Yeah.
music and like the way it's directed.
Right.
Like,
The simplicity of
Yeah.
it too. It's just sometimes it's just one shot for 2 minutes.
right.
Yeah.
And then like something happens and you're like, I get it.
Yep.
And you get it right away. You don't have to like, you're not playing it.
And they like
Yeah.
flashback like pretty
Yeah.
good, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
cool. She does
Oh,
this and
I was
shit.
gonna say I want
Sepia
to talk about
tones.
that. Yes,
Yeah.
they use good sepia tones. Thank
Yeah.
you. And and like in a game like from 1994, even though it's the greatest year ever,
Right.
you didn't get a lot of that. You
Yeah.
know?
No. I love when they flash back to that Gestalt speech and they start doing the little like Heil thing, and I'm like, well, we're dealing with Nazis
Well,
here.
Nazi Empire.
Yep, the old dog is giving the old sick eye. Right, he looks like a dog.
Yes.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
Gestalt or whatever.
Well, it's
yeah.
okay. You can make Hitler look like a dog. You just, that's how you can make him.
I've read a
Oh,
really
he's
good
in
thing.
the
rounding,
game.
dude. He's rounding up the magic people and putting them
Brilliant.
in a special area.
Jedi.
That's
Jews.
my god. The Viet
Jedi
Cong.
Judites.
Communism.
I read a good tweet that was Hitler wasn't such a bad guy. He did kill Hitler.
That was really good. I saw that.
Dude,
That
that's
was really good.
funny. That's awesome.
Anyways, but yeah, so like, I remember when that happened. I was like, I was really blown away. Another funny moment I thought was when you first meet Edgar and Locke walks up to him and they like talk to each other for a little bit, and then they look at each other and they just nod and they're like, doctor, and you're just like, what? And like people do that throughout this game so much that it's like, no, and you're like, what are you doing?
Well, yeah, that's because they couldn't animate the
Yeah.
bro
Yeah,
hand.
the bro
shake.
hand
So you're
shake.
like, yeah, man.
Or the bows that just I'm racistly bowing to the microphone right now.
I bet you the people wish they had video right
Yeah,
now.
Well, there you go. You fucking started internet riot, Paul.
We're idiots. We're idiots.
We are
No, we're
the
not.
dumb ones.
But anyways, also, you know what I thought was really funny was when you're fighting with the two soldiers and you're fighting the snail, they're like, wait, think back to your training when we learned to fight giant snails with lightning shells.
Basically went, you fucking idiots. You never fought a giant snail before.
And then you're like, you know what? I don't believe it.
Yeah, Josh Henderson, I'm going to attack it.
I'm going to try this out.
I attacked it and I was like, holy shit, there's lightning coming out of the sky, and I'm dead.
Everyone's dead.
I made a terrible
I made
mistake.
a terrible mistake. Why did I do this?
Oh my god.
Why did I join into this Final Fantasy?
This truly was.
This truly was.
It truly was my Final Fantasy. Dude, you fucking had that.
Dude.
Good night.
Nice work.
Oh my god.
Real quick, I know that I am excited to continue on. I'm really looking forward to going on. What about you?
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking forward to playing. I'm just glad that I don't have to worry about beating it because I beat it already once
Yeah.
before. So
Yeah.
now you can just play it and enjoy it and then be like, cool.
Yep.
I'm super excited. I love this game. I'll play it forever.
It's going to be great.
It's gonna be great.
It's going to be
Good
great. Thanks for listening again, guys. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes and also remember to leave us a review and maybe make it 5 stars because that would be awesome.
And send us emails and stuff.
And yeah, send us emails. Give us your feedback. We always love to read people out. Thanks again to BJ, Andrew, Shane, Nick, and William for writing in, and we used your thoughts because they were really funny and good.
Yeah, so send your thoughts over to continuepodcast@gmail.com.
Chicago, Illinois.
60652.
That's not our address at all.
And we're not in Chicago.
We do need a jingle though.
We do. We need to come up with a gun for it.
Continue cat? No, it's not continue cat.
He's the one. I'm a pretty podcast, Annie.
Thanks, guys. Thank you for listening to the ContinueCast. Our theme music is written and performed by Chris Connolly, aka DataCats. Check out his Facebook page at facebook.com/DJCats8bit. The ContinueCast is produced by Paul Ritchey, Nick Murphy, Josh Henderson, and our special guest, Luke Brown. Email us at continuepodcast@gmail.com. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/continueshow, and follow us on Twitter at continueshow.
Yo, my favorite part was naming people. I'm sorry.
I almost wanted to end
No.
it
No,
where Luke said goodnight.
End it there.
No,
That's it.
no. I want to talk about naming because otherwise I'll forget for next time.
Good.
What did you name your guys? Like not
Now?
both. Give me like
I
when you.
no, I kept them the same right now.
And what about when you were younger? Did you change them?
I think I made them like boring regular people names.
This is
I
Jake.
used
Jake is gonna do this.
I used to name them people that I knew,
Okay,
or
okay.
people that I had crushes on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
That's
it
kinda
was
like-
always some form of something like
I
that.
think
Yeah.
that's essentially what I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would always name them like super badass shit, right?
What?
Like Razor, shit like that. So like when you meet Locke,
Armageddon.
Like,
Because you couldn't fit it.
but the whole thing. No, like Locke's already a badass name, but I was like, I'm gonna name him Dash, like Dash Rendar from Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And then oh shit, there was somebody else that I named like a really like dumb name. When I fucking met fucking the King of the Castle guy. Lando covers Edgar, right? I was like, I'm gonna name him Lars. Lars is a cool name,
Dude.
And then you're like, you meet his brother Sabin, right? And I'm like, well, he's his brother. His name would be Bars, because they're brothers.
Lars and Bars.
Lars and Bars.
Nick Murphy brother naming lodge. Like your brother's name
My
is
brother's name is Bick. Nick and Bick.
Nick and Stick Murphy. Nick and your brother Stick.
That dude, that's fucking like 12 years old. That's the dumbest shit ever, dude.
Oh my god.